Hey folks, I'm Naomi Rose, your personal sexpert and relationship coach. Today, I want to answer a question for you that I got through my website. So first, let me read you the question itself. Not sure if there is help for me on this. I have major issues with orgasms. I can achieve them on my own, but with my partner, I can't seem to ever have one. I love being close to him, but can never achieve ultimate satisfaction. I'm not sure if my body is just broken, and it's extremely frustrating. I'm just stuck. Help! I get questions along these lines a lot. I want to give you some tips about how to potentially increase your chances of having a more pleasurable and potentially orgasmic experience with a partner. The first tip sounds kind of counterintuitive. Spend some time with your partner doing fun, sexy stuff, and don't work toward orgasm. In fact, it could be really fun to not allow yourselves to have orgasms. We're going back to the days of, making out in cars. You might want to try this for 10 minutes. You might want to try it for a night. You might want to try it for a week. See how your body experiences pleasure without the goal of orgasm in mind. When we put pressure on ourselves because we want things to go well, that sends a stress signal off in our brains, and our brains respond to stress by not being super turned on and not feeling as much pleasure as we otherwise would. So my next piece of advice for you is to watch the video that I made called Your Sex Life as a Car. And the general idea is this. Think about the things that are stressing you out leading up to a sexual experience or during a sexual experience. And before you try to add lots of sexy things into a certain experience, try to take away as many anxiety-producing things as possible. So maybe the thing that is causing your anxiety is the desire to have an orgasm, but maybe it's something else. Take some time to pay attention to that before you focus just on increasing sexiness. So here's my next piece of advice. The writer of this question mentioned that they are able to experience orgasm by themselves, which is great. It means that they spend some time exploring their own body and experiencing pleasure. Pay attention to what is working for you when you are able to have orgasms. Maybe this has to do with specific types of stimulation, penetration, vibration. Maybe it has to do with angles, or maybe it has to do with what you're thinking about. Maybe you're fantasizing about a certain thing. If you're watching porn, pay attention to what that does for you, what the subject matter is, and see which of those things you can work in to the sexual experiences that you have with your partner, because a lot of it is probably translatable. The next idea I have for you is to communicate. Now, we all know to communicate with our partners, but most people don't communicate that much during sex. Most of the time, the only things that we say during sex are like, yes, or oh my God, or some oohs and ahs, right? But adding some words in there, I really like when you touch there, move a little bit lower, keep up that pace. Those sorts of things can make a world of a difference. And encourage your partner to do that too. So your partner can ask, like, what feels better, this or this? So communicate with your partner during, before, and after sex. Another piece of advice I have for you is to incorporate sex toys into your experiences with your partner. I personally think of sex toys as magical sex robots that are there to help bring me pleasure. And some people can't have orgasms without toys, and that's okay. And so if that's what works really well for you, don't hesitate to share that with your partner and then be able to have that shared experience together. Speaking of shared experiences, I would also recommend mutual masturbation, or touching yourself in the presence of a partner. Especially if you know what works really well for your body, you can do that in front of your partner. Totally sexy. That way, you'll get to have the experience of sharing an intimate moment and sharing ecstasy and pleasure. So each of the things that I just recommended has nothing to do with your body potentially being broken. Bodies are complicated things, especially because they are linked to minds. Nothing is wrong with you. You are figuring out something that is actually quite challenging for a lot of people. I know that you might not know that based on like what you see in movies and what we read about in romance novels, and for sure what we see in porn. It makes sex look really simple and easy and like it just comes totally naturally to everybody. But the reality is that there's a lot to figure out, and most people don't know how to get themselves into a completely relaxed, intimate, sexy, hot space with a partner without kind of working on it a little bit. So that's okay. You are not broken, and props to you for reaching out and trying to figure it out. I also have some ideas specifically about pussies and pleasuring them, especially when it comes to orgasm, but I'm gonna leave that for another video, so keep your eyes peeled. And leave me a comment and let me know if this video was helpful, if you have other ideas or other questions. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe or send me a message at asknaomirose.com.